Osio, what's up, beautiful souls? Welcome if you're new here. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mamina. You can call me Mina for short. This is a message for the collective. We're going to see what's going on. At the time that I'm filming this, it's the 5/5 portal. Of course, we have the lunar eclipse, full moon in Scorpio. So we're going to get down into what all that energy is bringing towards you, darling. Okay, my loves, we're going to hop right on into it. We already have the blessings in place, so let's just get the message. What energy do you need to be aware of? What's going on? Ooh, very talkative, very energetic right now. We start off, this is the only card that flipped face up, and that is the 3 of Cups. I feel like a lot of you are coming into building communities for yourself. And what I mean by that is you're no longer trying to fit in where you can get in or force yourself to work in environments that don't celebrate you. You're not here to just be tolerated by somebody anymore. You're going out and you're exploring the outside world. Who resonates with me? Because there are people who will resonate with that highest form of you. The more that you start to align with your destiny, you start tapping into all the different elements of who you really are. There's people. Not 1 or 2, but people who will gravitate towards you and be authentic as long as you're being your authentic self. So there's a lot of authenticity coming in that's bringing you support that is well deserved. And the fact that you've had the courage to do this, the fact, because many of you might have felt like, you know, your livelihood to some extent depended upon the people who you thought had to accept you, like your parents. You know, if you're in certain work environments, the boss has to like you a certain way in order for you to get ahead because blah, 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 blah. You're letting all of that go. You're accepting your personal power. You're understanding your own inner strength. And in doing this and in being gentle with yourself as you do this, notice how, you know, she's not being cruel to this lion here. If you can see, she's like petting this lion, like the lion is a true companion to her. The more that you're actually giving some kindness to the wild instincts of who you are, it's helping you to have the courage necessary to do what you need to do, talk how you need to talk, and not tolerate any bull. Okay? Very creative energies channeling through here as well. And again, look at this. Confirmation upon confirmation. You're really deciding to invest more in yourself and not carry any extra burdens. You know that you're closer to that goal. Whether that goal resonates as a home for you, it resonates as a state of being, whatever it may be, you're starting to go more in that direction. And you're being kind to yourself. And this is a reminder, if you haven't been being kind to yourself, this is a reminder to be kind to yourself as you make that shift. We're going to get into the second oracle now. I'm going to try and keep this short for you guys. For those of you who don't know, I have been away creating a lot. So there's new oracle decks. There's 5 oracle decks from me that are finished. There's others coming, of course. All original artwork and everything. So if you wish to check that out, make sure that you check the link in the bio. I'm going to start including the Etsy link because I'm selling my decks on Etsy as well as my personal website. Okay, for those of you interested, let's get into the rest of your message, darling, because it's coming out glorious. It's coming out beautifully. Look at that. Boundaries. You're learning to set better boundaries. But I'm also seeing that you're learning to cross. There's certain boundaries that you put on yourself, like borders. I can't go here. Can't quite do that. I need this. Picking up extra burdens, picking up extra slack. This is you transitioning those borders. Okay, you're leaving those boundaries, that box that you put yourself in, because granted, we can give credit to certain people who've trained you to do that, to train you to box yourself in. But at some point, your own fear took over. At some point, you started believing the hype, and then it was yourself doing it. Because at the end of the day, no one can do to you or take from you what you don't allow them to. So you're starting to realize that for a long time, even if it's trauma, you might have fed into that trauma for a while. That trauma became in your mind such a ingrained, innate part of you. But in reality, that trauma ceases to exist the moment that you cease to give it power. So you're learning how to take your power back, to recognize it was never really taken from you to begin with. That was an illusion, darling. Right? At the same time, people who are used to disrespecting you, people who are used to, and even if it's not blunt disrespect, people who are used to being able to just come to you and get what they want, when they want, how they want it, because that's the role that you've played. You're learning to set boundaries, being more fierce. You know, you ain't got to be cruel, but you are learning to say, hey, slow your roll. Whew, what did I say about destiny before? When you stand in the power of your destiny, you are igniting the inner divinity within you. Whatever that divinity is for you, how it individually is defined in your essence, which is not limited to or really reliant upon what your material values are. Okay, this is spiritual, soul deep essence. This is the part of you that has always been with you, always been you, no matter what lifetime you've had, no matter what circumstances you've been in. It's the part of you that's always wanted to be embraced. It's the part of you that's always wanted to be acknowledged, accepted, so that it could show you your strength, so that it could show you what you were capable of. Okay, and again, some of you, it was kind of like being trained. I'm seeing almost like a beauty pageant type situation. So maybe some of you, they have this for masculines too, when they're younger, these like gentleman grooming kind of things where they groom you to be like a sophisticated gentleman. They have them for women too. Sometimes they're like beauty pageants where you're dressed up a certain way, you're presented a certain way, and you're made to believe that that is how you must be. And then you grow up and you embody that more. So you kind of feel like you have to be this perfect doll, this perfect Barbie, this perfect Ken, right? You guys are breaking out of that mold. If you were raised, the tattoos weren't a thing, you're like, you know what, bunking, I'm gonna get a tattoo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm seeing a lot of you, some of you are going extreme with it, but that's your prerogative, right? But for many of you, it's just being like, you know what, I never liked this particular color. My mother always put me in that color. Or I've never liked this particular way of talking. My father told me that was the best way to address people. And you're starting to break out of that. You know what I mean? And as you do so, that light within you, that divinity within you begins to shine out, and it's opening doors for you. Okay, your star is leading you home, leading you to where you need to be. I know it might seem like I'm talking kind of fast for some of you. So if you have to watch this over again, please do. As long as you get the message, that's what matters. And we have power here. What were we just talking about? Right? When you break past the boundaries that you've become accustomed to, and you set the proper boundaries for others to not disrespect you. You let them know this is the line you can't cross when it comes to how you're going to treat me. I refuse to be in the presence of people who simply tolerate me. Okay? You either really love me, really care about me, or we can just go our separate ways. No animosity, no hostility, no nothing. That helps you to shine brighter. As you shine brighter, the community, the people, the celebration of you can come in the way it needs to. I'm also feeling like many of you need to get out more. You need to celebrate. You need to, even if it's not necessarily just going outside, like let's say some of your best friends live in other states, right? Call them and be like, yo, let's have a movie night. Me and my sister one of my soul sisters, me and her was like, look, there was a movie she never seen before. I'm like, yo, we should check out this movie. Boom. We watch the picture. She lives in a completely different state than me. I've done this with plenty of friends that I'm at a distance with. I find something that we can do, whether if we're talking on the phone, that's cool. But sometimes doing things that, like activities that you would do if you could hang around, like going to the movies, listening to music, sometimes those things help to bridge the gap of what feels like a distance, right? So do that. Get on a Zoom call, have like a tea time, whatever it is that you're into. If you're a cosplayer, I've done this with friends that cosplay, where sometimes we'll video chat and we're cosplaying, or we set up a day to do like a photo shoot and we'll do photos that we could edit together. You know what I mean? Like whatever that is for you, whatever your creative outlet is. But do also take the time to go out and like explore. Go to a freaking cafe or a gathering or something that you're into. This is convention season, guys. There's conventions going on. This is spring, summertime. There's spring and summer events going on. Just go. And go with a clear, open mind. Be mindful of the energy that, you're going to indulge in. And you'll see that people are drawn to you. You'll meet the people that you need to meet. Use your discernment, as always. Like, you know what I'm saying, but participate in life pretty much. And as you do that, your power starts to stand out to you more. Your personal power and the influence of you starts to stand out more. Because what is it that I always tell you guys? You're both the influencer and the influence. If you've been inspired before, you've been influenced. Obviously, if you have to purge negative energies, you've obviously been influenced. But just like something mean or negative can influence you, so can something positive. That's what inspiration really is. It's the influence of that which has inspired you. So understand that this is a power that you also have. People are going to be connected to what you know. You might feel like you don't know much or nothing. You know more than somebody. And they're going to be willing to learn from you. And if you're open to learn, you'll learn a lot from them too. Okay? Let's get into the last deck here. And all of that helps to contribute to your power. I always tell you guys, the energy of power, the energy of like an Aries vibe, it's being an authority in what you do. It's not about you having to dictate or be an authority to another or somebody dictating to you. It's being an authority in what you do and how you go about what you do. That's what puts you in the role of leader. Because a leader knows how to be an authority in who they are and in what they do and how they go about it. That's why they're also able to say, hey, I might be a good leader, but I may not be good with this particular section over here. So let me delegate that to someone else. Only a true leader sits back and says, you know what? I might be carrying too many things. I know I'm investing in what I got to invest in, but I might be doing too much. So let me go ahead and outsource what I need to outsource when the opportunity comes for me to do so. It takes the burden off of me. I'm able to work far more, sufficiently than if I keep just taking it all on myself. This is like, someone needs to hear that. Someone needs that confidence boost. And you don't need to look perfect and print all the time for this either. Again, there's like, a woman and a man who's dealt with being kind of groomed into what the perfect lady is, what the perfect gentleman is, and how you're supposed to talk and how you're supposed to act. And I'm going to be the first to tell you, be diverse, right? Be diverse, understand certain situations. If you are able to be, you could think of it like being a chameleon, or you could think of it like, you know how some of us will say, because we're that balance between light and dark, we know when to be in the dark and we know when to be in the light. Situations, when you may have to speak a certain way so that you can be understood in a certain setting. That's not the equivalent of saying I must be just like those people. I simply know how to talk to them people. If you're from around my way, you know how to talk like you're from around the way, but you also know how to walk into a room with diplomats and whoever and speak that language too. You adjust where you need to adjust. You adapt where you need to adapt, but you don't conform yourself to be those people if they don't resonate with you. You just understand how to talk and be understood in certain situations and circumstances. If you don't, you're going to be put in experiences that will assist you with this, but it's up to you to open your mind and allow it, right? So if you're somebody who's used to having to talk really, prep all the time and you want to be more relaxed, you're going to be put in situations to be more relaxed. You can't judge yourself when you slip up and say a slang word. You know what I mean? Like you talking regular, you talking like this instead of the proper tone all the time. You start talking with slang, you start going girlfriend, homie, you get what I mean? You can't judge yourself for that. At the same time, if you're someone who's from around the way and you tend to talk that way, that doesn't mean that you can't, just like learning a different language, you can learn a different way to speak. It's not you losing anything of yourself. You're not losing anything by simply learning how to communicate in a different form. That's all it is. That's all you need to think about it being. It's like learning another language. Okay? I'm not going to go to Italy and not try to pick up a couple of Italian words. You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to walk around Italy and just be saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's grazie, grazie, grazie. That's what I'm going to say. Why? Because I'm in another country. Well, the same thing. When you're in certain rooms and you know that you need to communicate with somebody and you want someone to take you seriously, go ahead and show them that other side. It's fine. It's all you. It's all a part of you. It's just a matter of how you personally identify it. But don't let someone else try to mold you, because you've been there, you've done that, where people tried to mold you into something that you don't resonate with and that you're not connected to. All right, let's finish your message off here, my loves. Well, I was just talking about parents. I was just talking about somebody's parents, like grooming them. Some of you might be nervous of this because you're becoming a parent yourself. We have mother here. Okay. We have mother. And this energy of mother, it can represent you birthing something new. Some of you could be a young mom. I'm also picking up that, again, if you were used to kind of being groomed by a mother or even a father, then you're trying to break that mold and break that habit so that you don't pass it on to like your nieces, because not all of you have children of your own, but you take care of like your nieces or your baby cousins or something like that. I'm seeing little ones. So for those of you who know that you are influential on somebody younger than you, or you have a child of your own, you don't want to pass down the trauma, the negativity, the grooming, or none of that. All right. You're trying to pass that. But I'm also sensing for many of you where you don't have a child, it's just new things coming in your life that Spirit's trying to help you be prepared for. Okay. By getting you into a certain ritual. All right. Now, for some of you, this isn't ritual like necessarily spell work. For many of you, it could be prosperity spells. It could be affirmations, law of attraction, whatever. Okay. But for most of you, it's you getting into a routine that supports this new energy developing within yourself. You're getting into a routine. And then here we have the hero. Now, for many of you, I do feel like the hero role for you is hard, because if you're like, say, the oldest in a family, or you're just used to things being put on you, don't need to be the oldest. You could be the youngest and things are expected of you because everyone thinks that you didn't go through harshness, whatever. Then sometimes the hero role is a struggle. You feel kind of compelled to do it because maybe you love these people, or you're just so used to being put in the position. But there's also sometimes a bit of resentment towards it. You have to let go of that resentment. You have to let go of what you've been identifying as the so-called here I come to save the day person in the family. This is very much similar to like the Knight of Swords. I always say the Knight of Swords is the here I come to save the day. I'm mission driven. I'm focused. Instead of thinking of this energy in a negative, think about it in the I'm focused. Okay. I'm driven. I'm compassionate about what I need to do, but I'm also driven in what I need to do, and understand that the things you want to do in life will be of service to somebody. If there's a certain career you want to do, if there's a certain personality that you want to put out there in the world, it will be of service to somebody. You just need to maybe change what you've been raised to think service energy is, because to be of service is not to be a slave. Do not confuse the two. Okay. On top of this, I'm seeing the be discerning about others around you. We spoke about that. You cannot go to war with someone else if you don't give them. You cannot go to war with someone else if you don't give them one. So I'm feeling like if you don't feed into the bull, if you don't feed into whatever they're trying to rile up out of you, then there's no back and forth. How can they go back and forth with you if you're not participating? Right? That's the energy I'm getting from that. Okay. And my darlings, that was your reading. I pray that it resonated with you and that it helps you where you need help and assistance. And that's all for now. Peace, love, and light, beautiful souls. If you enjoy the vibe around here, be sure to subscribe and, of course, check out my Oracle decks. See you next time.